It's my privilege to welcome and introduce Yogacharya Dr. Ananda Balayogi Bhavanani. He is Director of the Center for Yoga Therapy Education and Research and Professor of Yoga Therapy at the Shri Balaji Vidyapith University, Pondicherry. He is the Chairman of the International Center for Yoga Education and Research at Ananda Ashram, Pondicherry, and Yoga Anjali Natyalam, the Primary Institute of Yoga and Carnatic Music and Bharatnatyam in Pondicherry. He is a gold medalist in Medical Studies MBBS with postgraduate diploma in both Family Health and Yoga and the Advanced Diploma in Yoga. A fellow of the Indian Academy of Yoga, he has authored 9 DVDs and 25 books and 21 competitions on yoga. He is a classical Indian vocalist, percussionist, music composer and choreographer of Indian classical dance. He is a recognized PhD guide for yoga therapy and is the first Indian to be recognized as an IAYT certified yoga therapist by the International Association of Yoga Therapists USA. He attended conferences in UK, USA, Italy, Malaysia, Germany, Switzerland, Canada, New Zealand, etc. He is an honorary advisor to the International Association of Yoga Therapists, Australian Association of Yoga Therapists, Worldwide Yoga Foundation. He is a member of numerous experts committees of the Ministry of Ayush, including a National Board for Promotion of Yoga and Naturopathy, Expert Committee for Celebration of International Yoga Day, and the Yoga and Diabetic Program. He is a consultant resource person for the WHO Collaborative Center in Traditional Medicines in New Delhi. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome and put your hands together for Dr. Anand Balayogi.
Balayogi ji, most welcome. It is always heartwarming listening to you, and the topic you are going to talk to us is yogic parenting. All yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vikrant, for this wonderful opportunity to be with all of you. And I think one of the aspects that is often missed out in the discussion on yoga is that we forget that yoga is actually all life. And yoga is to be lived mindfully, with awareness, with consciousness, every moment of the day. It is not something you just do 20 minutes or 30 minutes in the morning on your yoga mat, but is who you are. And this is why the topic of yogic parenting is so interesting, because parenting is something that requires a lot of mindfulness. Today, we have forgotten the importance of how we nurture people to bring out the best in their nature. And hence we end up with debates about, is it nature or nurture? It is both. And where does it all start? It all starts from what is called the Sabija Karma. Sabija Karma is our genetics. Who gives us our genetic makeup? Our parents. And as parents, we give our children our genetic makeup that we have carried from all our ancestors. So yes, it is a lot of baggage. That baggage that we are giving our children in the form of the human genome is huge, often having a lot of positive, but an equal amount of negative. So how is it that we can enable the positive aspects of our genetics to manifest and minimize the negative aspects of the genetics, preventing them from manifesting? That is conscious parenting. Where does it start? Parenting doesn't start after you have kids. Parenting begins when you are still a young child. And this is why it is pertinent that we must inculcate the values of yoga as a lifestyle, a 24-hour mindful lifestyle, focusing on achar, vichar, ahar, vihar, and vyavahar in the young people. When a young person develops the qualities as a child, when they grow with that yogic perspective, a global perspective that only yoga can give us, then when they get married, when they have kids, they will have the qualities of a yogic parent. What are these qualities? Patanjali tells us there are 4 bhavanas we are to choose when dealing with life situation. Maitri, Karuna, Muditopekshanam, Sukadukka Punya Punya Vishayanam, Bhavanartaha, Chitta Prasadanam. If you want clarity in how to be a good parent, you need to understand there will be moments in your relationship with your kids where there will be a lot of sukha, there will be a lot of ease, there will be a lot of pleasantness. At that point, manifest, radiate friendliness, maitri with sukha. There will be times where there will be a lot of struggle. There'll be a lot of pain. There'll be a lot of sorrow. There'll be a lot of, suffering that the child may go through and we may go through as a parent. At that time, manifest and radiate karuna, compassionate empathy. So when everything is going good, have that beautiful sense of friendliness. When things are not going so good, have the compassion, have the empathy to be the person who the kids are looking for. When that kid is suffering, all they want is Papa and Mama's loving embrace. They just want to rest their head on your chest. They just want to lie down on your lap. Can you radiate that karuna to mitigate the dukkha that is going on in that relationship? Now, there will be times where your kids are going to manifest the best. They are going to study well. They may be amazing in sports. They will excel themselves. They will actually even make their bed. Okay? And they will eat the food without any waste. Wow, great days, right? As a parent. In those moments, what are you to do? You are to cheer them. Mudita punya. When you find all of those good qualities radiating in the kids, when you find them trying to be the best version that they can be, when you find them living up to their potential, cheer them on, cheer them on, cheer them on. And then there will be days, there will be moments where they are totally the opposite. And you wonder whether they are the same kid. Because yesterday they seemed so good and today look at what they are. Well, in those moments, Patanjali advises upekshana, non-responsive, mindful indifference. He says when those things happen, when the kid is being naughty, when the kid is throwing a tantrum, that is not the time for you to start becoming a kid and throwing another tantrum. You know what happens? The kid does something naughty, the parent starts to explode, that triggers the kid to then become more naughty, the parent explodes more, and you end up with a vicious spiral of stress and reactivity. At that moment, just realize this too shall pass and give them the space. Upekshanam is the capacity to give space when things are not going the way they should. Because the more attention you pay to negativity, the more you strengthen negativity. One of the yogic lessons, yato mana tata prana, where the mana goes. So if you keep on harping on all the negativities, you are not doing this, you are not doing this, look at that, look at this. What happens is you only magnify that. Take a step back. Take a step back. And that is where the other beautiful teaching, Pratipaksha Bhavana of Patanjali, comes into parenting, is just to take a step back and use reverse psychology. There are times you just take a step back and automatically the kids will come back where they should be. See, this is mindfulness. Instead of becoming reactive, as a parent, we are not to be reactive, we are to be responsive, we are to be loving, caring. And again, yoga says, you be that role model. Where do the kids get all their ideas? By looking at the parents. Where do they get all these habits? Looking at the parents. If the parent says, always speak the truth, and then when somebody comes to the house and rings the bell, they tell the kid, tell them, Papa is not at home. What is the kid learning? You say, speak the truth, and then you are acting out a lie. You say, be honest, and they see you taking a bribe. See, this is where a responsible parenting from the yogic perspective is that we are to be that yogi. Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi. Jnanibhyo apimadodikaha. Karmabhyascha yogi. Tasmad yogi bhava Arjuna, says Krishna. Be that yogi. Be that yogic parent who has equanimity, samatva, samabhava, sthita prajna, and have that equipoise. And be that role model. Because your kids are going to watch you and they will learn from you what to be rather than what you tell them to be. And this is why the yogic approach to parenting is that we need to first set ourselves in tune. We need to be living a life of yoga where thought, word, and deed all come together. When our thought, word, and deed is integrated, when we say what we think and we do what we say, our kids are going to imbibe that. And through that, we are going to create an amazing society of human beings. For too long, we have been human doings. We need to move from being a human doing to a human being and be that best human being that we can be. This is conscious, mindful, yogic parenting. Apply the Chatur Bhavana, Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekshanam to the situations of Sukha, Dukkha, Punya, Apunya. Use the Pratipaksha Bhavana and just be the role model of what is Achar, Vichar, Ahar, Vihar, and Vyavahar. And when your kids see that, they are going to imbibe it because kids learn amazingly well. Kids learn by watching us. And who are the first teachers? The mother and the father. The mother and the father are the first teachers. And this is where our responsibility to be the best version of ourselves and thus enable the next generation to be the best version of themselves. When we show that we are mindful, when we show that we will do what it takes, when we show that we have the heart for the battle, when we show the most important aspects of sadhana, regularity, repetition, and rhythm, then our kids will learn that, imbibe that, and the world will be a much better place. I thank you all for giving me this beautiful opportunity to share some thoughts on yogic parenting. And I wish this International Week of Yoga by the United Consciousness to be a grand success. And thank you for standing up for yoga and making sure that the yogic standards set in Bharat will be the platinum standards for the entire world. Jai Bharat, Jai Yoga.
Thank you very much, Guruji. And so wonderful you mentioned about achar, vichar, ahar, vyavhar, that becomes sanskara, and then you get married. Conscious life leads to conscious parenting. You also mentioned about Matri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha. You defined each of them in various roller coaster ride of life and how to Pratipaksha Bhavna, Samatvam, Sampragya, Samabhava, from human doing to human being. It's very inspirational. I'm sure that on this day of International Day of Yoga, it will reach to everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much and be blessed always.